And our final story this trip introduces us to yet another collector of sorts, this time of films. Of course, Indiana is no stranger to the silver screen. We've been home to such heartwarming films as Breaking Away, Rudy, and of course, Hoosiers. But another director has escaped the shadow of the Hollywood hills and come to our state to make his movies. Movies of a slightly different variety. Producer Sean Murphy Gilson sets out to meet Indiana's last action hero.
I don't think running away to an island is the act of an innocent man.
What are you getting at?
What happened to Gibson?
It's like I said, he wandered into a minefield.
This area's been secure for years. You said so yourself. There are no minefields.
Are you accusing me?
I'm not accusing anyone.
This is Ivan Rogers, the Indianapolis-born film director with an eye on action, appearing in almost a dozen films, most of which were shot right here in Indianapolis. Rogers is one of the last purveyors of small action movies. His career started in 1986 with two films, Tiger Shark and the highly acclaimed One Way Out, which even received a screening at Cannes.
One Way Out I wrote originally to have Fred Williamson and Shelley Winters starring. And Fred read the script, I had Shelley read it, both liked it a lot, was no problem. And ultimately what came about was we had a bit of a difficult time with time frames.
Of course, Fred Williamson is best known as Spear Chucker in MASH and for his many roles in blaxploitation films of the early 70s.
So what I ended up doing was speaking with Fred about this more, and he just kind of suggested, why don't you do it? Why don't you act in it? Star it, you can produce it, you've already written it, you've been in front of the camera before, I can work with you on certain things, and I think you would do well, so I did it.
While the image of Shelley Winters co-starring with an action hero like Shaft or Superfly may be a bizarre mental picture, his latest movie proves to be even more intriguing. It's the sequel to an Italian work called Caged Women.
I didn't want to get into that same type of typical woman's prison film.
There's a genre then of prison movies?
Oh yes, there's all those. There's cage heat, there's chain heat, there's oh gosh, there's a million of them out there. But it's a genre, what we call women's prison films.
So when you're making a movie like Caged Women too, where does the motivation come for to launch into a project like that?
Money.
Any questions?
Rogers says that there's a large foreign market for American films of all sizes.
Well, the world pays a lot of attention to the United States, and when it comes to entertainment, we do that best. So, as I said, when these people are looking at what Hollywood puts out, not being able to afford some of that in terms of the video buyers, they still want that type of product, so, as I said, they come to me.
Rogers has made 4 of his films in Indiana and says Indianapolis makes a great backdrop for the American city.
It doesn't look like a major city in the sense of comparing it to New York or LA, but if things are shot correctly, it looks like a larger city. And when it comes to my overseas market, their concern is just an American city. There are other countries around the world that need product, and they're not able to afford what Hollywood puts out, so they come to me for mine. Hollywood has another agenda. I mean, they're obviously involved in the business of making films, and everyone wants to make money, but they have their distribution and production entity under one roof.
That's why Rogers says he's not interested in working with the prima donna agents and actors of Hollywood, but he insists that he still finds a way to work with the big names.
I did a film last year that comes out on video the 7th, I told you, with Robert Mitchum's son, Chris Mitchum, Anthony James, whom you've seen quite a bit. I was in Wales in England shooting a film called The Runner with Terrence Ford, who's Harrison Ford's brother.
Critics are blown away by the explosive Ivan Rogers. Variety says he's steely-eyed. BET says he's exciting. Video Magazine calls him the titular tool of vengeance. Ivan Rogers is Indiana's last action hero.
Although your local cinemas might not run films he has either starred in or directed himself, most of his movies are available at area video stores under titles like Maniac Cop, Two Wrongs Make a Right, and Escape from Survival Zone.
I don't want to be running up and down the streets, firing weapons and chasing people when I'm 70 years old, but directing and producing is still something I can do, yes. Well, Sylvester Stallone, I mean, oddly enough, is not 7 foot tall. I mean, I've met Sylvester Stallone before. He's shorter than I. So I'm just saying that what happens in front of the camera is not what's in real life, and that's what this is all about. It's creating the lie, the magic, something different from what you see, and that's why people go to see it. It's entertaining, but my life here today is not the same as what my life is in front of the camera.
If you're hungry for more action, Blockbuster stores carry Ivan Rogers' latest video release, and Cinemax has added one of his films to their lineup as well.